Oh, bakit ako parang naiiyak?
Mhm.
Um, Welcome to Ordinary People, Extraordinary Journeys, a K-Crown International original. I'm your host, Yen. This podcast is built on one simple belief that ordinary people often have the most extraordinary stories. Not because they become famous, but because they learned lessons worth sharing. And today's episode is entitled What Life Taught Me That Success Never Could. Today, we're joined by someone I deeply respect. He has spent decades working as an overseas worker, raising a family, facing challenges, and learning through life's ups and downs. Please help me welcome Kuya Justin.
Thank you very much, Jen. Thank you for having me in your first podcast as a guest. And it's really a privilege to have me here. And a wonderful day. Greetings to everyone who's watching right now.
Yes, thank you so much, Kuya, na pinagbigyan mo kami to be our very first guest in our pilot episode. So, let's start. Most people see the finished story, but rarely hear the chapters that came before it. So, today, we love to be with you and let us open those pages together. So, Kuya, tell us your story. And did life turn out the way you imagined it when you were younger?
Actually, I could say no, it didn't turn out the way I have thought of or even planned. And it's like a twist and turns. I go through a lot, which I cannot find the explanations. But however, I can say that it had helped build me as of what I am now.
Okay, so um, going back when you were young, how was your childhood?
I can recall while I was growing up. Actually, my mom died when I was uh, born at an early age, and I remember growing up in my grandmother's house, in my aunt's house, in our house. So I used to like uh, be going around looking for, how shall I say, an ideal family.
Mhm.
I know it's my blood relative families, but and then the day I am always expecting that there is always somebody who would look after me day and night, and as parents or as brothers, because I have a big gap in age with my brothers. We are five brothers. I'm the youngest, and growing up isn't easy with my four brothers because when we play, we end up fighting. And with respect to my parents, since my mom died, my dad raised us up alone, and he was always busy with the business. So I will find myself looking for loving, loving care. So to look for an ideal family, I have to stay with my classmates at the end of
Mhm.
every class, just watching as their dad comes home, their mom preparing food, and uh, when my classmates will welcome your dad, they're going to kiss them. And it was just playing in my mind that I want to have that kind of life, a normal life with all your family members are there, enjoying the company of each other. And that's how uh, that was in an elementary days. Then going up in high school, uh, I could say I was in search again for love and care, which I found with my friends, classmates. I just go out, play basketball. Then at the later age, as I'm growing up again, that search intensifies. I found myself being associated with wrong people.
Mhm.
I started to drink, smoke, and even take weeds. No, and then again going to college, again it intensifies going for drugs and something else, which I thought that it's satisfying my curiosity and my search for attention,
Yeah.
because having no family members to go back, my since I grew up, my brothers also have their own families, so nobody really take care of me. They just provide me with financial support, and I do what I want to do. No one's stopping me at all. So that's what happened. Then I was misguided, I shall say, raising being raised, being not raised up properly to guide me. I just discovered life in a in a way that it is really misguided. No one like told me or guided me. This is what you need to do. This is, although I know what is right and wrong,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean that I can do what is right. I can choose because I have the option. I can do what I want to do. Nobody's stopping me. So I what you call try to search learn everything in my own way without knowing that it could harm me or it could harm somebody else.
Oh, that's very tough, no, Kuya. Just hearing those story. And what age are you when you get involved into all these kind of vices? Do you remember pa?
Yes, so far I think third year in high school and
Uh,
third year and fourth year, I started to drink and take weeds. Then going up to college, that's where I started to take up drugs because I have classmates also who are well off, so they have cars
yeah.
and they can buy what they want to buy. So I just go along with them. Okay, so it's just like okay, come here and dine with us. Just simple as very casually, and I find myself getting involved without realizing that it's wrong.
Yes.
So I just enjoy the company. I just enjoy that. Oh, this is family because they accepted me the way I am, what they want. We share the same interest. So, but I have no idea. Although I said I know it's wrong, but I feel like enjoying it.
Yeah. And you mentioned that your mom died at an early when you were young.
Yeah.
So, tatay na lang, kuya,
Yes.
'di ba? Then you have your brothers. Where are they during this time na you struggle, puberty, and all these changes? Nasaan sila? And you mentioned nagbibigay lang ng finances and all.
Yeah.
I mean, wala bang other family member or lola or something to,
Yeah.
just guide you or
Yeah.
it seems kasi for me, yung kwento mo, parang you're really like all alone. 'Di ba? I mean,
Yes. That is true. I feel all alone, though I'm not alone. They
okay.
were with me. My dad, I forgot to mention that he got remarried. Because
Ah,
when my mom died, my dad is a businessman. When my mom died, uh, like for 2 years, what my aunt shared with me is just like lost himself. I mean, he was in depression. So when he goes out, brings a bag full of money and giving it to people outside. So they tried to contain him in the house.
yeah.
Then after a while, he got better, and then when he went, going out, she found a woman. So he got
Mm.
remarried. So unfortunately, when he brought home this woman, my grandfather actually got a heart attack because they don't want that woman, no, to be married with my dad. And after they got married, so she was staying in our house, but we didn't have a good relationship
Yeah.
with her. She's actually a gold digger, my stepmom. So we are against it. So actually, my four brothers went on, uh, stokwa, naglayas
Naglayas.
sila because we don't really want her. And actually, when before my dad died, my father died, the stepmom uh, left him when he was sick. So 3 months I took care of my dad, bedridden. I have to do like a nursing care for him personally for 3 months before he died. But after he died, my stepmom came back and just like I could literally say she ransacked our properties
Oh,
because she has a what they call an attorney who
oh
has a
yeah.
brother who is an attorney. So legalistically, she tried to seize what she can seize from us. And we were young then. I was a minor. I think three of us are minor, and my two brothers are the ones adults. But what we can do against that, no? So she took all this money. That's why I can say also growing up, I can say I'm a woman hater because what I saw
Yes,
from
yeah,
my stepmom,
true.
no? What she did, no? So I don't try to relate with just when I grow up, I learned to associate with women. But and on my childhood, I don't want to play with women. I stopped with women because I was thinking everyone is like that.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's
definitely. Yeah, that would be our mentality. So, yeah, Kuya, thank you for sharing a bit of your childhood. And as I listening to your story, I know it's not really easy. Um, but moving on, are there moments in your life during those difficult times that you almost wanted to give up?
in my younger years. I mean my younger years is in my school days. Though I have been in a lot of things. I got involved in a lot of illegal things. I was tough then, but then after I got married, uh, untimely,
What age did you get married, Kuya?
21.
Ah.
Mhm. Because my dad said, "Finish your school before you get married." So when I finished, I got married.
Masunurin.
No, really. Really, it was untimely. It's unplanned. Nothing at all. When I was a young kid, I have read an article of a young woman, 19 years old woman who was very successful. At the age of 19, she had already her own house, own car, have a business. So I told myself, I will be like her when I'll be 19. So I have a big dream. And growing up, even the college day, even though I'm doing all these vices, I have that still in my mind that I will not get married because of that experience. No,
Experience.
I'll not get married. I'll go to Japan at age 18. I'm planning to go to Japan and work. During that time, Japan was very, popular.
Okay.
That when you go there and work there, even a skilled one, even not a professional worker, you'll get a lot of money. So I told myself, I'll work for 10 years. If I'm 18, by 28, I'll come back and have my own business. So that's what's the plan. But my brother said, no, finish your school and then I'll let you go wherever you want to go. But unfortunately, that was what I'm saying. I got married. I I married really an untimely age that I was not even prepared. I don't have work at all. So I have to depend from my relatives, from the
Parang
relatives of my
another ano na naman pala,
that's
no?
just another burden. But you know, that was also I think, a blessing in disguise because I started to back off from the things that I
Yes.
usually do. But I remember that my brother said, "When will you change?" Because when my wife is about to give birth to my eldest, I was drunk. I was wasted. So nowhere to find me. So it's his uncle who brought her to the hospital. So that's why my brother said, "When will you change?" They like very embarrassed with me, having a brother like that, irresponsible. So, and then the story, I would say, started off from that when my son was born. No, so I started to on my own. I started to change my life.
So, yun yung turning point mo.
I could say the start of the turning point. It's not yet
Yeah.
the turning point because I am still in little, not like before that it's really a vice, but now casually, uh, socially, still in the vice because I'm with my group, my friends.
Yes, yeah. Controlled lang, parang
Yeah, I
gano'n.
say occasionally.
Yes, yes.
But then, still not spared from doing the wrong things. No? Andun pa rin siya, hindi siya totally, but minimized, I would say. And then, shall I continue? Huh?
Yeah, so Kuya, from then on, walk us through um ano yung nangyari sa Pinas that leads you to
Come here.
to
Okay,
UAE?
that's a nice thing. I think that's the start of. So, actually, when I was hired in Coca-Cola San Miguel that time, I was 25 years old, and then everything went well. To cut it short, everything went well for 10 years. My career was flying, salary is good, no need to come here. But I felt so much confidence in myself that I believe that I can do everything. I know everything. I have connections. So I retired at the age of 35
Oh, sa Coca-Cola.
in Coca-Cola. And I retired with those people who are 60, 55, 58. And my GM was asking me, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I told him I don't want anymore. So
Napagod ka ba?
actually,
Walang growth na.
no. What happened? What's the reason behind is personal with my wife. The relationship is struggling because her work is in the uh, like stock exchange, foreign, ano. And they usually work at night. I work in the morning. When I come home, she's not there.
Oh, I see.
When she's there, sleeping, and I am not there. So my kids were like, I find it like the same thing that happened to me is happening to my kids at the moment.
Yeah.
No one's looking after them, talking to them, and they're just raised by our, our kasambahay, So it's not good. So we start to blame each other. Then, when we were young, and we said, no, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. So, okay, let's quit, both of us. Just like that, let's quit. So we quit. Both of us have no work for 1.5 years. So though we have savings, but still not enough to sustain us for that. So that was the point that even and during that time, I honestly got involved with someone. But though actually it's a distant, so my wife, we have a fight. So and then she confided with one old lady who's a Christian, and then she told all the story. So bring your husband to the church, and then so that's where I'm doing some business that time, like networking. I got involved with networking. I enjoyed that one, and since I'm not interested in going to that church, so she said, no, there are a group of businessmen
For
there.
transaction.
Yes, that's my intention was money, business. And I have a chance to have a Bible study with uh, who's that actress? Pilapil?
Pilar.
Pilar Pilapil. And she shared her testimony that like that.
I
So,
heard.
okay. Then I continued like for 3 weeks, and then that's the time that the intention changed. I felt something in the worship, and which I don't understand anything what they're doing,
Yes.
but it feels good. So I got involved actually. So I leave that. Then why I came here is after I joined that Bible study, I found a job.
Here?
No, in the Philippines.
Okay.
So I found a job in what is that Swilig Pharmaceutical.
Okay.
I was hired as
Pharma.
an external consultant, and the pay was good. Like that was a project, so it's 1 year. It's finished, and then I have no job again. And then I was hired by my former general manager in Pepsi. So I was working in Pepsi. But then in Pepsi, before I was hired in Pepsi, I tried to go to that agency in Ermita.
To fulfill your Japan
I
dream.
saw in the newspaper an ad working here in Dubai.
Dubai.
Dubai then was not famous, so I didn't even know where is Dubai. But I was looking for a better opportunity, so I checked. I went there, have a test, and all the process I passed everything except for that I am already 36 years old, and the ad was saying 35 years old, so they rejected me. And then the next year I was hired in Pepsi, and then my colleagues asked me, "Come on, Ting, come with us. We'll apply in where's that? In Dubai." I think I know that I applied last, so I was rejected. So I'm saying I'm overage. So I told them, no, you go. I will not come.
Mm.
No, after that we'll go watch movie. So I told them, okay, fine. We went, and they took the exam. While I was there, I was in the reception receiving area. That secretary told me, why you're not taking the test, sir? You are here. No. I told him, you don't recognize me. Last year you rejected me. She was the same lady.
Oh.
And then so she told me, instead of you just sitting down there doing nothing, you take the test. So I took. Cut it short, 5 of them and me, 6 people, I passed and they didn't. So I told the secretary, would you let me go
Consider,
this
yeah.
time? Yes, yes, okay. So that was like I will say a destiny, because
Mm.
I was 1 year older last year, they rejected me. And now
Yes.
I'm 2 years older, and it's like a setup
Yeah.
that I will come here in Dubai. So, and then I would say the turning point will be starting from Dubai.
From
The
Dubai.
stories that starts in Dubai.
Yeah, I know, like what I've said, we've heard yung wonderful story ni Kuya Justin. Kuya, give us some short but powerful kwento ng buhay mo dito sa UAE, because that was so beautiful. Na how you have started here, yung mga proseso na pinagdaanan mo. I believe it is worth sharing, and some people na watching this podcast or hearing this podcast could really relate at makakuha ng encouragement to that story. So,
Yes,
share it to us.
sure. I'll try to make it short and brief, but I don't want to miss important things,
Mhm.
of course. Uh, since I reached there, I was expecting that everything will be far better from where I took off,
Mm.
considering that it is a foreign country, and much better opportunities, of course, is there. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out as expected, because I know my salary will just be 1,000 dirhams, which we know that during that time is like 14,000 pesos. That's
Okay.
my tax
What year
in the
is that,
Philippines.
Kuya? What year?
2005. Yeah,
2005,
2005.
1,000. Mm.
The last salary which I am taking there is 60,000 in
In the,
Swillig.
so 1,000 is just 16,000,
14,000 that time. The
14,000
exchange rate is
pesos.
14. And
Oh,
I would say it's just a tax,
yeah, in the Philippines, no,
income
back
tax.
home, you know.
Because apart from the salary, there are perks, some other perks,
Mm.
commissions, incentives.
Okay.
So might be gross, it could reach up to 80
Still, no,
during
still, yeah.
2005. So it's far better, no? But when I reach here, it's 1,000 dirham. Though there is a commission, for the first 3 months I enjoyed. I am taking inclusive of everything like 7,000, 6,000. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
good.
That's good, yeah.
But the challenge was that here working in a foreign country, so of course there'll be some partiality.
Mm.
If your boss is
Mm.
up there of the same
Yes.
place, so they will give favor to that one. So the target was not set up properly, not fairly, I should say. And then I suffered really for almost a year. Only I'm living up to my salary. And I have to feed myself here. I have to
Mm.
send money back home. I left with the debt in the Philippines. I came here earning debt,
Yeah.
accumulating debt, right and left. Then that was, thank you, by the way, that I found a church here that could really help me, guide me, and encourage me. So I follow their advice, though that the circumstances are not going in favor of me. Still, I was able to uh, surpass them by the grace of God. And after listening to the advices, I started to do it, and then slowly I found favor in the Lord. I got promoted, and totally I was promoted thrice unexpectedly, and I was able to recover from my debts slowly as well. Everything is, as you say, the process. We're talking about the process of how you go about living in a foreign land and working far from your family. And I should say it's part of the process going through all of these
Mm.
things, financially, relationally, emotionally. everything. So without the help of God, of course, I will always make mention of that to whomever I will
Yeah.
talk to, that it's only the grace of God that sustained me and guided me accordingly. And one thing that is really tough because I haven't mentioned that I almost gave up
Mm.
in from childhood till this I came here. I have tried to commit suicide twice in my life.
Oh.
And back home in the Philippines
And
in
here?
here. Yeah.
Pwede mong i-share why? I mean, or not in full detail, but
Uh,
what made you go to that kind of situation? Ano yung hardest moment na yon that,
mm,
somehow,
yeah. In Philippines, before I came here, that I mentioned earlier that we quit our job, both of us.
yes.
And one evening, I thought of taking my life, and you know, I'm not a religious person. I don't have any knowledge of that God is talking personally to a person. But I think I've heard that voice that when I was about to do it, I was in the bedroom, but I see my kids sleeping, and I was about to commit suicide. And the voice told me, "You are unfair.
Mm.
You're going to leave your family and leave them with a problem."
Oh,
So that time I was awakened in my spirit.
yes.
Okay. Then the second one was I was hoping when I came here that everything will be better
Mm-hmm.
because when I was back home, even I lost my job. My three kids are going in a private school,
Yeah.
having no job. I maintain what our lifestyle is.
Lifestyle, yes.
But when I came here expecting something to be better, they were transferred to a public school and even didn't get enrolled almost. I,
Mm.
what, whoever will ask me, my wife's relatives and my brothers are telling me, "What are you doing there?
Yeah.
You have forsaken your family." I told them, "Sometimes don't have to eat so I can
Yeah.
send some money."
Kasi OFW, di ba?
Yeah.
Puyat.
So
Di
they're
man nila
expecting, yeah.
ginapala, ginapiko, di ba?
I think pinupulot lang yung pera
Yes.
dito. But even that, the thing is, what they're accusing me is that I abandoned my family. I have forsaken
Oh.
that's the sickening part. And that in spite of your struggles and troubles,
Yes.
I don't tell them the story. So I don't want them to,
True.
maawa sa akin. They pity on me. But the point is they have interpreted it in a different way that they judge me na ng babae na ako or may
Yes.
binahay na ako. So sabi ko, kung nambabae man ako sa Pilipinas, never kong iniwan, pinabayaan ng pamilya
Mm-mm.
ko. Sabi ko. Pero hindi ako nambabae, nilalaki lang ako. No, honestly, hindi. In my nature of work, ma-do-draw talaga yung
Okay.
ano, sa sales ako, eh, and then may position ka.
True.
So, ano, uh, I leave that. No, nung, I was in that point na what led me having those thoughts na, "Why am I" that's when I asked God, "Lord, why is this happening to me?"
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord answered, "Why not?" Really.
Mm.
That's when I shared that's why Ate Emily is keep on sharing me. Justin has told this that, "Lord, why me?" I said, "Why not?" Because I shared that story.
Yeah.
That's personal for me. And then, uh, I went to Jumeirah, if you know Jumeirah 1.
Yes.
That time is still open. So I was go far
In the beach, right?
in the beach, and there was a part there that you have to walk, and in the middle there's some round place there.
Okay.
Okay. I was looking for a stone, a big stone and a rope.
Magpapalunod ka ba?
Yes. Talagang magpapakalunod na lang.
Oh.
And again, somebody like reminded me. So I didn't do it. But that's it. Then I just go to, and during that time I was a part of a church already.
Already.
And when I seek advice from our pastor said no. I asked a leave of absence from the church, and
Oh.
he said, It's your choice, but if you're going to ask me, I would not allow you."
Mm.
This is the moment that you
True.
need a
Yes.
church. You need somebody to talk to. It's a good thing that I listen. So, and after that, everything turns out to be good but not perfect.
Yes.
Still, it's a saying that life is a process. So until you have reached your final destination, it's still a process.
True. Yeah.
Still going through.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that was really a very full, a wonderful story to listen to. No, I was just wondering na um, buti sumunod ka, no, kuya? I mean, of all the things that you have shared since the beginning, I've seen yung pattern, no? At the end of the day, I see na yung heart mo obedient, no? I mean, it's not easy. Oh, bakit ako parang naiiyak? No?
Mhm.
um,